Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. In today's episode, I'm probably going to get the reselling, fan base to hate on me after this episode because, no, the thing is this. For as long as I've been into sneakers, that's one thing that I've always paid attention to is the reselling side of the, sneaker business and stuff. And it was funny because it was the other day I was talking about Pokemon cards on it was my friend that was streaming, and she was playing some like digital Pokemon like card game and stuff. And I was talking, I struck up that conversation. I'm like, it's crazy how like these guys, they were at one point in time fighting over Pokemon cards. Like, no, you're hearing that correctly. There is people getting into physical altercations over some cards. Now I get it. I understand the hype. I understand that there are some limited edition, some rare Pokemon cards out there. Like the thing is this. Anything that can be resold, it doesn't matter whether it's sneakers, Pokemon cards, or I'm going to be talking about in this podcast episode Nintendo Switch 2s. It's all the same. People, the thing is this, you'll have somebody that will go out of their way to buy it when they know that they're not going to play it. They know they're not going to be messing with it. They just want to make a quick buck off of it. And that's the thing that trips me out is that there are people out there that want to like talking on sneakers. They want to wear those Jordans. They want to wear those Adidas. They want to wear like whatever shoe is being resold for a crazy amount. And then with the Pokemon cards, like, yes, there are people out there that want to own it. Like, they don't want to, like, oh, let me just buy it and not do nothing with it. Like, no, they want to be able to own it and tell their friends about it. And then I know that they, because I remember that there was a morning when I went over to this mall. And they were doing like this hat release and stuff. Yes, there was a store that was doing a hat release, and it was a line too. Like that was the crazy thing about it. Like there was people lined up for this particular Mariners hat. But anyways, I remember they were doing like this like card convention thing there. And you honestly, you'd be surprised, like people that are not into Pokemon cards and Yu-Gi-Oh cards and all that, you would be surprised on how like you see that stuff when you were a kid, like more so if you're around my age, and then you're all like, oh, okay, like eventually them guys is gonna grow out of it and things. Nah, like there's some people where it's like, it's kind of like how wrestling is for me, where it's like it brings enjoyment and entertainment to their life and things, So that's why I'm like, I don't even knock nobody for being into Pokemon cards. I'm like, if you into Pokemon cards, I'm like, hey, that's on you, bruh. So, but anyways, no, but overall though, I that's what my friend was talking about in her stream, how people were buying them and were trying to like resell them on like probably StockX and or like if they got like a card reselling website, they probably reselling them on there too if they do have those types of websites. But if not, StockX, it seems like it's the new eBay, because I just remember back years ago when the Xboxes and the PlayStations were coming out, people were on there. Luckily, I was able to get mine's first day that they came out. But yeah, I remember going on there and people were charging, because the Xboxes, I think, both of them, both the Xboxes and PlayStations, they were only $499. You had people on there trying to sell them for like $700, $1,000, having it where it got to the point where Amazon had to, because they were even trying to do it on there too, got to the point where Amazon had to tell people, it's like, look, you can't do that. Like, you guys gonna have to like cut down on that price, because selling them for like thousands of dollars, if not maybe a little bit less than that, but still though, at the end of the day, it's like nobody's not trying to spend thousands of dollars on an Xbox where all I'm getting is the same stuff that I would get if I were to pay $4.99 for it at the store, or $2.99, because I think even the digital Xboxes and PlayStations, they were even being resold for a crazy amount. And that's the thing. So all that you get, like if you've never purchased an Xbox Series X, all that you get with the Xbox is the console, some cords to plug it off up into your TV or computer monitor or whatever. And then so it's the controller, the Xbox, the cords, and that's it. You don't even get like no headset. You don't get no, I guess like if you get like a bundle thing or something with the video game, then yeah, you might possibly get a video game. You might possibly get like 7 days of or a month of Xbox Game Pass. But other than that, it's not like you're getting all these games. Like, so, because my thing is this: if I'm spending thousands of dollars on the Xbox, I'm expecting to get the best headset, the best controller, a bunch of different video games, 5 years worth of Xbox Game Pass. I'm expecting to get my money's worth. But to have it where I spend that much money on an Xbox and it's like all I'm getting is the basics, that's a robbery. You know, and I just remember when I used to talk on this before, like there were resellers that were upset with what I was saying, and they're all like, oh, it's supply and demand. And I'm like, that's the thing though. You're not supplying me with nothing, so therefore you can't demand this dollar amount out of me. And it's like, fam, what are you supplying me with? Yes, you're supplying me with what Microsoft would have supplied me with if they were selling it to me. But that's the thing though. They're going to sell it at me at a price where it's reasonable. They're going to sell it at me at the price that they promote on commercials and on social media and all these other different like official store websites. But at the end of the day, it's like you being that reseller, what are you supplying me with? Yes, you're supplying me with the console, but that's it. So do you honestly, and the funny thing is, turn it around and have it where they're the ones that's spending thousands of dollars. Hold on for a second. I don't know. There's a random number. I ain't picking that number up. Taking my watch off anyways. Hold on for a second. Let me just. Okay, there it goes. Call declined. So, but I didn't realize I could decline. You can decline calls from my from the Apple Watch, but you can't decline them from the iPhone. That's weird. But anyways, but yeah, overall though, it's like it trips me out. When people they'll be so quick to pay like the normal price for Xbox, PlayStation, sneakers, Pokemon cards, turn around, try to flip it, and have it where it's like, oh, we gonna add like $2,000-$4,000 above the price and things, and then yeah, but let it be them. They're like, oh no, that's too much. That's way too expensive. Well then, how do you think the consumer, the person that actually wants to wear those sneakers or play that video game console, or just be able to say that they own that Pokemon card? Yeah, they might probably go to one of those like them card shop stores and use the card there, but it's like they actually want to do something with that product. You're just trying to make money off of it. That's one thing. And just I guess like with me, and I don't know, maybe I just can, I'm more of a hard worker than the reseller and stuff. But like, that's something that I've never had to worry about, is getting something and then worried about. Because there's been times where I'm like, there's been sneakers that I've sold off to stores where it's like, I know I'm not going to get a whole lot of money for it because the sneaker ain't really going for that much. Plus, I don't warn them and things. And yeah, it might be a popular sneaker, but at the end of the day, I'm like, I just don't want this in my possession. And I'm like, yeah, I know I'm not gonna get the amount of money that I would like to get, but at the end of the day, I'm like, that's less stuff that I gotta worry about. So that's why I'm like, yeah, when I go and resell it. And the funny thing is, me growing up as a GameStop's kid, bro, you learned real quick that you wasn't going to get the money that you was asking for. Having it where you went off in GameStops, trade in like 1,000 PlayStation 2 games, 500 Xbox games. You trade in like 13 PlayStation 2s, 5 Xbox 360s, and all you get in return is like $20, cash and $25 in-store credit. Like, man, so that's why I'm like, I learned at a young age that it's like the reselling business. You don't really make a whole lot, because that's the funny thing about it. Eventually, with all these at least I remember with the Xbox and PlayStations, they started putting these consoles out, and then they started doing like invitational things, so I was able to, because I was like quick with it, like I was like on some what was that, because I know they be doing like them like Western movies where they like draw the weapons out all fast. That's how I was with my card information and stuff. I had to draw that stuff out fast, because I was like, no, I ain't gonna waste no time trying to get my Xbox. That was the console that I wanted. And then I knew eventually at some point in time I was going to get a PlayStation 5. It's just that I was like, you know what? No, I'm like, that's just too much money to be spending in a week. I'm going to chill on it. I'm going to play my Xbox now. If if there ain't no good games that's out, then eventually down the road I'll get. And I ended up doing that. Down the road I did get a PlayStation 5. And no, and that's what Sony, what they were doing. They were sending out invitations to buy the PlayStation 5. So and they sent me out actually a few of them. I think it was like 3 altogether that they sent out, but I took advantage of the second time they sent it out to me. But so how that worked, because you still at that time being, I think this is maybe 2 years after the PlayStations had came out. So I think I was one day I was downstairs chilling, and then that's when they had sent me a code thing, or not a code, but they sent me an email saying like, hey, you've been selected to buy a PlayStation 5. Oh, okay, cool. So anyways, I put through my info where they had me waiting like some virtual line. I put through my card information and stuff, was able to get it, and I'm like, all right, cool. And you best believe I was posted up at my window like Terminator, or yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator 2. Like, I was waiting there with a shotgun, because I'm like, there is no way, because you see where at times when them like UPS or FedEx, I think it was, who was it UPS or FedEx? It was one of those guys that one of them drivers had stole a pair of my Jordans, and I'm like, thank God Nike was like, hey, we seen that there was some stuff going on, we gonna send you a free pair. So I was like, all right, cool. As long as I'm not paying for 2 pairs of Jordans, and if I had to do that, I'm telling you right now, I would have never bought a pair of shoes off of the Nike app again if I had to pay for a second. So I was like, no, not doing that. But anyways, but yeah, I was like, I ain't trying to have it where it be a situation where it's like I'm having to chase down this driver. I'm like, you're gonna have to hit a red light at some point, and I'm like, it will be one of those things where I'm like, yes, forget 2, we gonna go to Terminator 1. I'm chasing you down, and I'm chasing down anybody that matches your name. All right. So anyways, and now, that was the crazy thing about that, was that because they, with those with the Jordans that I bought, and then I think it was like, yeah, FedEx had stole them. I had because they said that, oh, the shoes were damaged. So I was like, okay, can you send me a picture of them so I could see the damage and things? Because I'm like, if it's the box, I could care less about the box. I'll throw the box away. But if it's the shoes, now I'm like, oh, okay, well, now I would like to see what the damage is. That happened years ago, and I still ain't never got those pictures. So that's why I was like, you know what? Forget it. I'm like, I'm just, well, yeah, because I knew that one of those drivers had, well, whoever the driver was, they stole my shoes. Because I'm like, so they said that the shoes were damaged, but then they turned it around. They must have just thought like, oh, I was going to stop checking in things. But no, overall, the thing switched to saying that my shoes were delivered. And I'm thinking to myself, how I checked by my door 3 different times. And I'm like, it ain't like it's this big area in my front door and stuff. Like, there ain't no hidden, like no bushes or nothing like that. And I'm like, fam, I think I would be able to see if there was a pair of shoes outside. The thing is this, I never had an issue with any other time when a pair of shoes were delivered to my house. So that's why I'm like, and then the funny thing is that you're thinking like, oh, I'm going to take, and I don't even think them shoes is going for a whole lot. But I think that was what they were overall trying to do. Let me look it up real quick, those particular, because it was the Zion Williamson 2s. And is those Air Forces? Oh, no, those are Air Jordan. I thought that he came out with some arrows. Like, when did he do those? But anyways, so yeah, it was the Jordan Zion 2 Voodoo. And how much are those going for? Because I think I got them in a size, I think it was a size 10, 10 and a half maybe. But so it's size 10 because they were 140. So you're getting what, a little over $50 for one, and then a little over 40, or no, wait a minute, because it was like, no, $60 for the size 10, and then I can't remember if I did get those in the 10 and a half, but they're going for $181 in the size 10, then $209, $209 in a size 10, and then $181 in the 10 and a half. So that's why I'm like, fam, you're not making any money off of them, so what's the point? Like, that's how bad the reselling business is. Here it is, you have a whole full-time job, yet you're stealing from somebody so you can tend to this side job where it's like, I don't know what's going on with this number, but it's like they keep calling me and things. Hold on for 1 second. All right, I'm back. Just had to attend to a call real quick because, no, I'm going to get to, why attended to this call. It was just my card provider. They just had to verify some things. You know, I haven't made no big purchase like this in a while. Like last time I did make a big purchase like this was back in 2020 and stuff. So, but anyways, but what was I overall talking on? I lost track of thought because it was, I didn't expect the call to, well, it was only a few minutes, but I'm like, yeah, it's one of those things where it kind of took my mind off of what I was originally talking on. But I guess more so, you know, switching gears, talking to the resellers. But it's like, no, the thing is this, the reselling business is a scam, you know, because when you look up that's one thing that StockX, what they at least do is that they show you what the retail prices of whatever sneakers or whatever it is that you're purchasing. So like, let's say for an example, you want to get, so like there's actually quite a few pairs of sneakers that's pretty famous, but let's say you want to get like these like the original, not like the original, but you wanted to get the colorway of the original Air Jordan 1s, which like, yeah, and let's say you wanted to get like the last ones that they came out with, which is the Lost and Found. Luckily for me, I was able to get those at on this store. But anyways, let me see what those are going for. The Lost and Found ones. And they got they got like a whole collection of do I have all of those? No, I don't have all of those. There's some that it's just showing you like all the different Air Jordan ones, but I'm like there's some that I have, but not all. But anyways, so if I wanted to get those in a size 10, it's $314. These shoes were $180 when they came out. So explain like what is the extra dollar amount for? You know, like, cause my thing is this, if you're doing this because like, oh, I had to pay for these shoes and hold them for you, I'm like, that's the thing though. Nobody asked you to hold the shoes for me. I could have very well, my thing is this, if the shoes are available on the Nike app, I could have just went there and just bought them, correct? So it's like, that's the thing where it's like a reseller would try to come up with all these different excuses on why they're selling something at a crazy amount. And I'm like, fam, you don't even need to do that. You could just leave it alone. Oh, no, I think that's what I was talking on was the dude that stole my sneakers. But it's like, here it is. You have a whole full-time job, and you're messing that up so you can tend to your side job. Because I imagine it's like you ain't going to be making a whole lot of money from your from reselling and things. Like, and that's on top of that, because it's like, my thing is this. Let's just list out like all the different things that you need to tend to, and then the shoes that he stole, the Zion 2s. Okay, so let's cause what the size 10s were 209, 208. Hold on for a second. 209. So you're going to be making $69 off of those sneakers. So let's just lay out all the different things. It's going to be like everything that like most people will be going through, you know? So let's say you have your own place, all right? You have your own place. You're renting out this apartment. And let's say let's throw that in there. We gonna give you the full package. Apartment, kids. Let's think of some other stuff. Car note. And then bills, of course. Cell phone bill. Do you think all this stuff that you gotta pay for, you know, like just throughout your life and things, do you think that $69 is gonna be able to cover it? So like that's what I'm saying. I'm like, you out here messing up your full-time job that is actually paying you some. I wonder how much does a FedEx driver make a year. Let's just look. How much does a FedEx driver make? Let's just see. A FedEx driver's salary in Washington state varies, but the average hourly pay for a delivery driver is approximately $21.78. That is an hour. However, this can range from $18 to $25 per hour depending on factors like experience, location, whether it's contractor or employer position. Some top earners in Washington can make upward of $26 per hour. So I wonder how much do they make a year? Let's see what that says. $36,000 to $86,000 a year. So yeah, it's like you might be making like roughly, let's just say you're making the minimum $36,000 a year. If it comes down between me making that or me just trying to make $60, and I don't even think, the crazy thing about it was that the sneakers was even going for that much when they had originally came out. These sneakers had came out back in Let me see. I closed out the page. But yeah, back when they it had came out and they were being resold, there was another pair of shoes that Zion Williamson had released, and it was these Air Jordan 1s, and they were going for, so yeah, they were 140. They came out in 2022. Yeah, them shoes wasn't going for no $200 and something in no 2022. They have all these other colorways where it's like they're not even going for that much money and stuff. So that's the thing about it, where it's like you out here messing up your 9 to 5 because you're trying to make a quick $69. And I'm like, look how that's you know what? And that's the thing too, where I'm like, if they open up the investigation and they seen what you were about and they seen that you were still and all these different things, they probably didn't want to come out and talk about this publicly because they're all like, this could be bad for business. But I guarantee and I promise you that driver is not working with FedEx no more. That's something where it's all like, you know, because you do it this one time and then you're doing it a bunch of other different times. They're all like, look, you're fired, you're gone, you gotta go. You took all the stuff that you need to get. You very well could have just used your paycheck to buy the things that you wanted, but you didn't. You wanted to take the easy way out. Now look at you, fired. And it's like, and then that's the thing, you're gonna have to explain, like, if you try to get a job where you're working around products, you're gonna have to get a job where it's like, I guess, like, yeah, you could overall work around products, but there's products that you can't steal, you know. So it's like, that's gonna be something that you're gonna have to explain to each and every one of the jobs that you're trying to go after, where it's all like, oh, why did you get fired from this job? Oh, I was over there stealing sneakers. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, it's like, yeah, Amazon, UPS, I'm trying to think, USPS, what are some other, like, driving, Uber and all that. They're like, nope, can't work with us. If that's what you're gonna be doing, ain't gonna have it where people are calling, complaining to us, talk about, where's my product at, where's my food at, where's this at, where's that at, because you trying to steal everything. So yeah, that's why I'm like, yeah, you know, I guarantee and I promise you that driver is not working for FedEx no more. But yeah, luckily though, Nike was like, yeah, we'll send you out a free pair of sneakers and stuff. But I'm like, man, it's like, you guys don't even need to do that. Like, that's the thing. That's the part that I really didn't like about the whole situation, was that Nike had to send me out another pair, because they shouldn't even have had to have done that. So I feel like that's, to me, it's like, I wouldn't blame myself, but at the same time, I'm like, man, you know, I do feel bad that it's like, you know, that there's I guess, like, yeah, Nike being a multi-billion-dollar company and stuff, I don't think they gonna care if they lose out on a pair of sneakers that cost like $100. I think, hold on for a second, let me check how, yeah, they were $140 and stuff, so they're probably like, you know, we'll just have to cut that loss. But I'm like, that's something that you guys shouldn't even have had to have done. You know, it's like that you guys should have had an extra pair, because I look at it as like, there was probably another person that might have wanted the pair, and now it's like they gotta go to a reselling website because Nike ain't got them no more. So that's why I'm like, man, you know, it's like it's like a domino effect. Like, whoever this FedEx driver was, it's like you messed it up for a bunch of different people and stuff. So anyways, but yeah, overall though, but the main motivation though behind this podcast episode, you know, and then the reason why I had to take a phone call mid podcast episode and stuff. So the Nintendo Switch 2s just recently came out, right? And of course, I knew it was going to be the same business with like the Nintendo Switch 2, like how it is, how it was with the first Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Wii. I'm trying to think of some other stuff. Those were the main consoles that I seen where it was hard to get them anywhere. Now, at the time being, I remember when because I didn't really know too much about the like reselling websites. I knew that sneakers would resell for a crazy amount, but I just didn't know about the websites and stuff like StockX, GOAT, things like that. So anyways, but then before that with the Nintendo Wii's, it was like, no, you just had to wait until the store had it and stuff. So anyways, but with the PlayStation 5s and the Xbox Series X's, that's when I seen how people were going crazy with even selling the consoles. And I'm like, fam, I thought StockX was a sneaker reselling website. You guys can allow any old product on here, and they do. And so the thing that's tripping me out, so you look up Nintendo Switch, hold on for a second, you look up Nintendo Switch 2, you're seeing all these different prices from eBay to StockX to, let's just go on shopping. So Nintendo, I don't know why they have it on there where it's like it's $4.99 because you can't even get the Nintendo Switch 2s off of the Nintendo website. You would think that you could, but you can't. So anyways, but no, eBay, somebody's selling it on eBay for $750. Then somebody's selling like a bundle thing on Walmart for $899, knowing it don't cost that much. Then another person is just selling the Nintendo Switch 2 with an old Legend of Zelda game, not like the last Legend of Zelda. Like, no, this is like a HD thing that they came out, a game that they came out with, where I know for a fact that I have that game. So it's like, fam, $784 for a game that I already got for a new. I'm like, nope, that ain't it. Somebody selling it for Nintendo Switch 2 with Mario Kart, and then it's like some Legend of Zelda action figurines or something like that for $1,000, and I'm like, fam, I'm not asking for that. So what's the point of selling it to me? Yeah, there's like all these different crazy amounts and stuff, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, fam, again, you're not supplying me with nothing different than Nintendo would. So why are you guys having these crazy amounts where it's like it's unreasonable? And you're not trying to play them. If you were, you wouldn't be trying to, because I know yes, luckily Best Buy, they had it where they was like, I can pre-order it, because Walmart was on some business where it's like I have to like wait until 6 in the morning, and I'm like, bro, early hours of the morning, I'm trying to sleep. You know, like, I just remember that with the Xbox. Bro, I remember with the Xbox, because the pandemic had already started. I already had, like, adapted my brain to waking up at a later time. Bro, I remember when them Xbox Series X's had went on sale. So that's what had happened. So I wake up, I'm thinking that it's the Xbox Series X's, they were going to be on sale as soon as Walmart had opened up. So I was like, okay, there's a Walmart that's not too far away from me. I'll go over there and get it, right? So anyways, I go over there. I'm walking, the store hadn't opened yet. So I'm outside waiting for a little bit. Then eventually the store opens. I go to the electronic aisle, and I'm like, do you guys have the Xbox Series X in stock? They're like, it was a wasted trip. The guy goes on and says, oh, it's going to be an online purchase only. So I'm like, fam, I'm up here for no reason. Well, that's just great. I'm like, cool. I'm like, I should have bought me a Red Bull at the time, because I was like, they had them up there. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm like, plus on, because I was like, I was just pretty much just going off of like gas films at that point. I was like, fam, I was so tired. So anyways, they said that it wasn't going to be available until 9. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'll wait a couple of hours and things. Hold on for a second. I don't think they open up at 7. Let me see, when does Walmart open? Let's just see real quick. Walmart, 6 a.m. So yeah, it was 6 a.m. So I'm having to wait 3 hours for this. I'm just scrolling through my computer, looking at stuff, looking at files, and I'm like, why am I looking through my files? So I was like, I don't know, maybe I should have just, see, that's the thing. I'm like, I ain't trying to get too overly distracted and stuff. So I was like, I don't really remember watching a whole lot of stuff or doing a whole lot of different things. If I did, it was maybe 5 minutes before 9. That's when I put in my card information. That's when I made sure of it that everything was set. I was like, I kept refreshing the page. As soon as that thing said add to cart, I was rapid clicking. You would have thought that I had like a modded mouse or something, the way I was rapidly clicking through the website and things. Like, there was that scene, I think it was in Toy Story, where they were flipping through the channels all fast. That's what I was doing with with my mouse when I was trying to buy that Xbox Series X. And thank God I was able to buy it, because people have been trying to resell it for a crazy amount. And I'm like, fam, it's not worth that much. Like, that's the crazy thing about it, where it's like, now you could go into a store and get you an Xbox Series X or an S and get you a PlayStation. Even in like Walmart, like the times where I go in there, and then they be having like the new PlayStation 5s. They got the PlayStation 5 Pros in stock. So that's what I'm like. And it's funny because the thing is this, those resellers, I feel like they see that and they're like, well, now I got cut down on the price, so maybe I'll just, instead of having it where it's like $700, I'll have it where it's like $680 or something. People ain't gonna buy it. There's like, when they could just go to a store and just get it right then and there. So they're all like, all right, I guess I'll cut down on the price a little bit more, because PlayStation 5s, hold on for a second, let's see how much a PlayStation 5 is going for on StockX. Because I just remember when they had came out, and I was like, that's crazy for somebody to be charging that much for a PlayStation 5. But anyways, they don't have them in stock no more. They don't have them on. Hold on for a second, because all I did was type up play PS5. So let's see, PlayStation 5. Let's see what. Okay, so they do have. Okay, so yeah, they do have it where it's like you could get you a PlayStation 5 Blu-ray edition. So it's like it's the physical copy. You could get it for $388, and then they have like some special edition ones where it's like all it is that it's well, oh no, wait a minute. Oh no, that's yeah, I think okay, it's like they do have one for 600, and I'm like, but yeah, it's like a bundle thing and stuff. So it's like, and I think it's yeah, it comes with God of War, but I think that's how much it would cost like after tax and stuff. So but I'm even still though, I'm like it shouldn't be, it should be either $4.99 or lower. But somebody was like, because I think how much are the, hold on for a second, how much are the PlayStation 5 Pros? Because that was a console where I was like, I don't care for buying oh dang, it's $6.99. Dang, I didn't realize it cost that much. That's crazy. I was like, I'm kind of glad I ain't fooling with the PlayStation 5 Pros, because I'm like, if it costs that much, that's insane. Just for it to not even have like a disc drive thing. I'm like, yeah, Sony was scamming people with that. I had to admit, Sony was scamming people with that one. But anyways, but yeah, overall though, it's like they're not going for that much now, and I'm like, and that's good, because I'm like, no, that's the thing, resellers. And then it's like, so with the Nintendo Switches, it's like they're trying to charge this crazy amount for them and stuff, and it's like they're not worth that much though. So what's this extra you talking about? And I just know they're going to say that supply and demand crap. And I'm like, fam, that's the thing, though. You're not supplying me with nothing. So therefore, you can't demand a dollar amount out of me, and you're not even supplying. You're supplying me with the same stuff that Nintendo would, but yet Nintendo would be doing it at a cheaper price. What sense does that make? Like, please explain that to me. And my question is, would you spend that much on a Nintendo Switch too? Because you're somebody like me that you actually want to play it and stuff. That's why I'm like, man, get out of here with that. I ain't trying to hear nobody that's talking about supply and demand crap like that, and you ain't even. So overall, the point that I'm trying to make in this whole podcast episode, don't buy nothing from no reseller. Like, if they're selling it to you at a reasonable price, then okay, cool. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, if it's a reselling business where it's like kind of like a sneaker store or something, where it's like, okay, yeah, there's people going in there trading stuff all the time and things, that I can understand, you know. But and even then, still, it's like, because I feel like that's more normal than somebody like, because it ain't like those them sneaker stores, they're waiting for people to come in and buying the shoes and stuff. At least they plan on doing something with the shoes. Yeah, they're gonna charge a little bit for them and stuff, but they're not trying to, it's not some stuff where it's like, I guess like the point that I'm trying to make with a store is that you can buy the shoes however you want to buy them and stuff. My thing is this: do you think that if the person that's selling the Nintendo Switch 2 on StockX, if I'm like, oh, take these video games, they all equal up to the amount of the Nintendo Switch 2 and stuff. Yeah, like, yeah, let's say I was, instead of giving them cash, I was giving them a bunch of stuff that equaled up to the $600, but it's just random items like a microwave, you know, some shoelaces, some garbage bags, some pine saw. You think they're gonna be taking all that different stuff because it equals up to the $1,000 that they asking for the Nintendo Switch? No. Now, I'm not saying a sneaker store would do that, but I'm just saying that they do have other ways of buying it. So it's like, yeah, if you want to go in there, so like, let's say if you go into a sneaker store and you're trying to get them lost and found Air Jordan 1s, and then they're you don't have the cash, but you got a gang of sneakers where it'll equal up to that, yeah, they'll take that, you know. And that's the thing where I'm like, that's why I would shop at a store before I, you know, quote unquote supply one of these people online. But anyways, but yeah, overall, this was me calling out resellers and letting y'all know to expect some, cause yeah, that was the Nintendo Switch that I bought. It was the Mario Kart World Edition. So yeah, expect some Mario Kart World streams to be happening here soon. But yeah, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service, and peace.